being in the winning lane is dependent on having the best team, your dream team with differing strengths and talents. You as a leader are able to encourage your team members to work and dip into their strengths and talents.
You want to be a leader during this disruptive technological pandemic landscape and beyond. You know that an intentional mindset shift backed with action and responsible management can renew our global relationship to wealth, health, spirituality, and each other. These are the keys to achieving a balanced lifestyle. In this podcast, your host, Lady Doris Choto, will help you rise to your potential. With a mindset shift, you will put your skills and talents to the highest use and shine with a spirit of excellence. What a man thinketh, so is he. You were born to achieve whatever you want, so spread your wings and soar like an eagle. We are building a leadership community, nationally and internationally, a hub for the leaders of today and tomorrow. We are here to take action because it's time for a mindset shift that will lead to a paradigm of wealth, health, spirituality, and relationships. Please welcome Lady Doris Choto.
Welcome to this amazing episode about supervision, virtually and face-to-face. For many leaders and coaches, speaking with individuals face-to-face was part of how leading in this space was done. After all, they could see faces, read body language, and interpret it to determine the best way forward. Now, with the shift towards video meetings, Teams, Zoom, and all the other related social media platforms that allow this, brought about by the pandemic and the downturn during and even now after COVID, leaders and coaches are having to make significant changes to how they function in this age of virtual meetings. That also means learning to trust those working from home that are not where you can supervise as they do their day-to-day tasks. So building relationships is often key to maintaining your effectiveness as a leader. For many leaders, that has involved regular check-ins with their staff on an individual basis. So micromanaging can stifle creativity and can make team members feel undermined, resulting in their feeling frustrated. So being open to hearing what their challenges are and brainstorming ways to address them can allow you to still get productivity out of your team, even during some of the difficult and challenging times that you and your team may face. Most of your efforts are going to involve work you have likely already done without realizing it. Simply put, you are tapping into the strengths of your team, the strengths of each and every individual member, and trusting that if they're working from home or virtually, they are doing what they're supposed to do is they plug into the team objectives and productivity. So my framework of what the word strengths stands for is really vital to take into consideration in understanding principles of leadership, which I formulated when I was doing my MBA management research project in 2020. S stands for strengths. T stands for talents. R stands for relationships. E stands for excellence. N stands for non-negotiable. Claiming your strengths and talents and then investing in them. G stands for goal setting. Specific, measurable, attractive, realistic, and timeless. And T stands for thoughts. As a 3 principles coach, I cannot stress how thoughts are so key to how you your team members, and everyone around you is who they are based on their thoughts. And that is also linked to time and time frame and management. So H stands for humanity. Be polite. Your country, your team, your world is about accepting individual differences, doing good, being warm-hearted, being sensitive, a good listener, effective and affectionate. Also included here is well-being and a balanced lifestyle. So when I looked at this model and thought and considered what teams are supposed to be and what that means, so they are the ones, the word strength in the framework I formulated looks at different key elements that you as a leader should keep applying and reflecting on, both in your business, in your personal life, in multinational companies, in local government. As you are working in teams, this requires really having bias blinders. The reality is that we all move through the world making judgments based upon the biases we carry. Being in the winning lane is dependent on having the best team, your dream team, with differing strengths and talents. And you as a leader are able to identify and encourage your team members to work and dip into their strengths and talents. I have worked in both the private sector and local government, and in my varying roles and transitioning in this life journey, I have helped run a family business as well, and have been involved in the property investment space since 2001. And I've also been involved in the high frequency forex trading. And during all these different activities, I have observed that the best teams include women leaders as well as the men. So I encourage you to reflect on your own experience. What has been your experience in teams, in managing your teams? And if you're aspiring to manage them or thinking of managing a team, how is that going to look like? I challenge you to seek training, to read more, as I'm teaching you in this podcast, to look at and reflect on what working in a team and being a team player and a leader, what that means. So being attuned to emotional intelligence is so key in today's business landscape. A pair of 2010 studies explained collective intelligence in teams. They wanted to understand why some teams are smarter than the sum of their individual IQs. There are three sides to understanding this phenomenon. The most effective teams allow each individual to give their opinion rather than having to talk to, and a dominated conversation by one or two people. Team members don't want to be talked to, they want to be involved. Even if, say, you are in a local authority and you've got an Ofsted inspection, or if you're in a private organization or your own business and audits are happening, include people, involve them. The individuals who are successful in having good teams are better at reading complex emotional states, and they have more women in the team. I'm not having a bias because I'm a woman, but this can be partly explained by the fact that some women and some men tend to be better at reading emotional states. So strengths include leadership, communication, having writing skills, being a good listener, active listener, being observant, So common weaknesses include a fear of public speaking for some, imposter syndrome, a lack of experience with software or programs, or difficulties with taking criticism. Investing in self-development is key to building self-confidence and gaining new skills. Operating in a space of abundance, of inclusiveness, of respecting others is a choice that you can make so that you can inspire and enable team members to grow. In the main human resources landscape, the term weakness is regarded ethically inappropriate. Within these circles, individuals are now interpreted as having strengths, looking at opportunities or challenges, but not weaknesses. Some businesses or organizations, or for those who run their own businesses, you are even planning to remove negative feedback. But how can this be looked at and not ignore the areas that some of the people in your teams need to develop? A lack of success in projects in some organizations is due to the objectives not being clear, not enough communication, senior management not supporting individual teams, or inadequate resources or scheduling, and failure to put together a collective way of bringing about change. So change management is key in deciding processes of choosing brilliant ideas that need pursuing, listening and involving workers and your team members. This is the result of leaders and employees not having an understanding of their unique strengths and talents. So putting, say, a project team together without considering team members' strengths can reduce the profitability or return on investment on a project. And for those in property or property development, really looking at how your team around you, looking for the best surveyors, the architect, the builders, and bringing together a team that works towards the same objective. So simply because people are unlikely to be the right individuals put in place to ensure success if the leader is not clear about individual strengths and talents. So investing in management and team strengths assessments is key. And it's important to, as an individual or organization, to bring in a coach who is trained in the strengths, talents, and 3 principles space, by putting aside focusing on weaknesses and instead exploring the intricate details of team members' strengths and talents. So talents are what come naturally to you. And when you operate in the flow of your strengths and talents, wow, you excel. Whereas skills and knowledge quantify based upon past performance, talents quantify potential. Talents may include innovation, adaptability, persuasion, communication, teamwork, and mental strengths that are useful to pursue profession, art, activities, or tasks in projects that are useful. For example, in the artificial intelligence and internet-based business landscape, leaders should possess the skill to communicate directly, respectfully, curiously with the tech guys and even their teams, even if it's in social care or in different projects in multinational companies or in your business. Looking at engineers, even if they are engineering executives, for example, some of these people may not be outspoken. They may just be people who want to concentrate on their tasks. It's up to you to enable yourself to find out how you can effectively communicate and bring out the best of each individual. And for social workers, the same applies. There are team members in that space. When I am involved in social work, I've seen in teams that there may be individuals who are not really forthcoming, but once you take time to ask questions, to bring them in, they are able to relax and able to contribute and feel included. All of these efforts are based around building relationships within your teams and your organization. To get the best from your team, you need to encourage relationship building exercises. Relationship is the state of being related or interrelated and included. So how do team members feel included in your specific team? The relation is connecting or building participation. It should come from your heart, and people can read when you're genuinely being inclusive. Building relationships can lead your team to excellence. Unfortunately, it is not easy to do. What is excellence? Excellence is a quality that people appreciate because it can be challenging or hard to achieve. Excellence is the quality of excelling, providing a service of high level, and being truly the best at something. So getting an A or 5-star when people are reviewing your service shows excellence. So challenge yourself to do Class A tasks and perform in every area of your life. Seek to do the best that you can in everything you do. I'll give you an example. If you go to a hotel or restaurant or to a gym, you are expecting and are expectant that you'll get the best of services. And when you pay for that service, you want to be happy. You want to feel respected. You want to feel acknowledged. And I challenge you to do the same with each and every person you come into contact with. Smile. Be kind. Be inclusive to your team members and respect them. In looking at each of the items in the framework I gave before in the word strength. Strengths is the framework of a team. You must look at each aspect and reflect on what this means for you and on the relevance to your leadership style to understand how those you manage, those you work with, even in your own home, what does that look like? When you look at that framework, what do other people see in you as a leader? You have people who follow you. You have people you work with. Are you applying the strength framework? Coaching and mentoring individuals requires taking time to know those you work with and those who work for you individually and also as a team. In addition, this effort requires your understanding of difference, diversity, and inclusion. So greater diversity in the workforce leads to greater profitability, creativity, and further value creation. This formula applies to the executive levels, as McKinsey found a statistically significant correlation between diverse leadership and better financial performance. For example, companies in the top quintile of ethnic diversity at the executive level are reported by research as having a 33% more likelihood to having above average profitability than companies that are in the bottom quintile. For issues of gender diversity, companies in the top quintile are 21% more likely to have above average profitability than companies that are in the bottom quintile. This was research that was done by McKinsey in 2018. However, do not be quick to assume that just checking boxes to hire specific individuals will give you diversity within your organization or team. Instead, diversity involves hiring diverse backgrounds and then allowing them to share and contribute in an open and inclusive way. They should not just be a token effort to appear diverse on brochures or in marketing material. No, this needs to be a genuine strategy that makes and brings about inclusiveness, making individual team members to feel like they are part of the team and that you genuinely seek to involve them by building relationships and making your team feel interconnected. Successful relationships within the workplace are built upon a foundation of respect and trust. As a leader, you set the tone for your team by demonstrating respect for each individual and for the whole team. Even when you have to address potential issues that can be conflicting or issues that you think need to help the individual look at areas that need improving or support to be supported, your tone and your body language still need to be respectful of those you work with or around you. Unfortunately, many leaders get a sense of entitlement, feeling that they are always in the right. How can this be? That leads to power dynamics that can contribute to bullying, to undermining, and lack of respect, really. You can be so determined to put people into their place that you can end up silencing members of your team altogether. And this is not positive at all. As team members will feel as if they are working to avoid coming into contact with you. And this can cause currents of conflict. And you do not want that as a leader. I encourage leaders and people I talk to and those I have coached, even when I've worked with students, newly qualified students, building empathy, allowing individuals to connect with you and a team. Having a sense of belonging is a critical part of the foundation for your team's success. Avoid jumping to the conclusion that everyone you are working with or in your team requires being micromanaged by you. No. Instead, allow them to grow to be successful in their own space. Leadership allows for a certain level of independence. Remember that it comes with accountability. So really allowing the individual to be able to do their job and their tasks, but at the same time having a system where you can respectfully have accountability conversations. Additionally, everyone should know your organization's brand and how their efforts are linked to building the brand. They are not just moving paper from one side to the desk, or now that we are working towards being paperless. Your team members are contributing to growing your brand and brushing it and making it and burnishing and making sure that the reputation of that brand is strong, even when they understand how they are critical to the success of your organization, of your brand. This can be challenging, and flexibility, involving inclusiveness and respect is part of ensuring that your team works together towards the same objective. Organizations today are often built upon a specific set of rules and processes. It becomes a bureaucracy that makes it difficult for your organization to really have some flexibility, especially during critical and disruptive periods, as we have seen in the past 2-3 years. Therefore, do not put processes into place that are so stuck in stone that you cannot be flexible. Instead, offer opportunities for change and adaptation. Give your team members, look at your organization, your business, the mechanisms to be fluid, especially when big changes are happening within industries. That being said, employees should be comfortable making mistakes and failing from time to time, because that can often lead to ideas and processes that can increase profitability and productivity. A blame culture will have people trying to cover up mistakes instead of learning from them. When you think that an error has been made, how do you approach that conversation? I ask you to think about that, so reflect on that issue. Your efforts will contribute to creating a strong team, strong company culture. One of the biggest challenges facing leaders today in our technology-driven world is managing a work-life balance. Our phones connect us to the emails and to work constantly. Where do you put the boundary? How do you encourage your team members to be boundaried around having a work-life balance? To foster an environment that allows your employees, your team members, and those you lead to recharge. Make time to reply to emails or reading and having time to reflect. Encourage team members to have quality time that is protected to do these things. Not only will it be good for you, for your family, your team members, it will also allow you to recharge as a leader. Many of the emails we receive in the evening sometimes are not emergencies, are not really so urgent that they need a response right now. But you need to be mindful that you have downtime, quality time that is protected to do different tasks. So I encourage you to recognize that the work is important, that the time with your family is also very, very key. So in keeping you and your team members productive, you need to support each and every individual to have a balanced work life. If you want your team to be excited to come to work, you need to give them time to unwind and recharge, and encourage people to take breaks, to exercise, to stretch. Encourage that. It's good. It's good for you. It's good for them. Finally, I encourage you as a leader to build a future for your team, your organization, your business, both in an environment and culture that gets your team and you excited. So when you and your team can see opportunities to grow, even if it's at home, the team at work, the team in your organization, which gives every person a sense of purpose, collaboration, negotiation, diversity, and coaching, can foster a culture that contributes to innovation and growth, that puts your organization at the top of your industry consistently. And guess what? You can do it when you respectfully involve your team members and have their buy-in. Remember that no man is an island, and so you need to figure out how to collaborate, to negotiate, to involve, and build connection with everyone in your team and around you, even in your own home. With that in mind, in my next episode, episode, I am going to talk about fostering creativity and managing change within a disruptive and constantly shifting global economy. I am so excited about that. And I want you to know that I acknowledge you as a leader. Continue to be brilliant. Guess what? Because you are.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Lady D offers one-on-one and group coaching with 10 master keys. These systems and structures will realign you with what you were born to do. Lady D delivers hands-on coaching, training, and mentoring with boldness, empathy, diplomacy, respect, wisdom, and inclusion in a safe environment, breeding true community spirit. Sharpen your strengths, talents, and gifts to avoid pitfalls. Get networked with confidence to excel. Begin your journey today by going to careerleadershipcoachingtoday.com or dorschoto.com.